This is Mgtow righteousness with another quick lesson, I guess you could say. Um, as you can tell by the title, it's Power of Isolation. Power of isolation. Isolation itself, used for the right ways, is a very powerful thing to do mentally because you have to disconnect from society. Some people are going to say that isolation is, for cowards or losers or, man up. What they fail to realize, isolation is you truly being a man. I'm talking to a lot of level fours and level five MGTOWs. This is some deep stuff. You know, you know, the reasons to go into isolation are deep enough. You know, because you've been on Facebook for fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 years straight. You've been on YouTube for 5, 7, 8 years. You've been on every program for 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years since it's been out. Your brain needs a break. You need a break. Now, some people could say, yeah, go take a vacation. Ha ha. But to people that have a deeper connection with themselves, a deeper connection with themselves spiritually, a deeper connection to society, they know they have higher roles doing certain things. They understand that they are the moving tool of time in America. Truck driver. They understand that without them, shit will fall out of place. You know, guys like that. You know, um, isolation is a powerful thing. You need it. Sometimes you need to reboot. You need to unplug yourself. Go back out into nature. Get off the grid. Learn some of their primal human instincts all over again. And to be honest, in my opinion, that is the only thing I say that stands between this frugal ass society that calls men men and the true passage of men is to actually, if you want to be a man, a real man, go out into nature, get off the grid, and live out there for a period of time. And if you love, you come or you come back, you visit, you try to see if society's changed. You're like, you know what, screw this, and you leave. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You understand that you are too powerful. You are too. You can't get with none of it. You can't. You don't. Then the thing is, people aren't gonna understand that. That's fine. They don't have to understand it. They're in the matrix. They're in the trap. You know. Um. And it's just very important to have your own solitude as well. You know, it doesn't have to be that drastic where you have to live in off the grid for isolation. But those are for level five MGTOWs that are take the monks that really take this serious. It's a serious thing. The reasons to go into exile, into isolation, is because society has failed. A lot of things have failed. You like again, I said you need a reboot. You need a restart. You need to unplug. You've been on the computer. You've been watching TV. And another reason why a lot of men are level five monks, I shouldn't say a lot, there aren't a lot that actually go off the grid, but the ones that go off the grid, they feel that they have failed society and themselves in a way when it comes to a balance of good versus evil. You know, I mean, I don't want to quote religion, I don't want to quote the Bible, but a lot of in the scriptures, if I may, it says when evil's around, you know, to not to look away, but to challenge it and meet it head on. In today's society, a lot of macho men, a lot of righteous men, they can't say anything that's going on that's wrong, whether it be this woman not taking care of her children, whether it be anything, shootings, anything. So men feel a great deep, a great shame in just how things have gone. So they exile, they leave society, they go off the grid, they learn how to live off the land, which is a true way of man of passage. Not going to the grocery store and just buying what you want. That's what females like. They like convenience. Even though this isn't about females, but you know, um, your righteousness can be challenged. It is being challenged now. You know how things have gone in society. Men are overlooked. Men are looked down upon. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Who wants to be around a society like this? You know, it's very understandable to leave. It's also understandable if you'll depart from society to live off the grid if a marriage doesn't work out. I mean, that's understandable too. If a marriage doesn't work out, and you're sick and tired of going to work all the time, and you're sick and tired of the society and how everything is. Oh yeah, you'll go up to Alaska. You'll be up there. You'll be straight. There's a couple guys that do it, and there's some guys that do it year round. I know that. They have blogs. If I could find any descriptions, I'll put them in the links. They actually ask guys if people want to go with them, but they only take like two at a time or something like that. I was reading. It was on a blog. I gotta look that back up. And that's good stuff. I always said before, Mgtow, when Mgtow gets together, Mgtow definitely needs to build a temple. You know, and have men, only heterosexual men unite and get that masculine energy back. I really do state that. But there's huge power in isolation. You could cleanse your mind, cleanse your thoughts, process your next moves. Not telling no one your goals and is a huge, great thing about isolation. You know, these are the things that make you become better. And this is also loving yourself. Isolation. But as well, there's also shame in isolation. You might feel shame because you can't be around society, or you failed your manhood, so you must leave and go away. You felt like you have to exile. It's a difference. Like, again, it's two different types of exile. There's exile where you're like, I need a reboot. I need to get back to my primal ways. I need to see what it is to be truly a man. That's you going on a pilgrimage, or you could say, or a conquest, or you could say. When you're in shame because a marriage didn't work out, because I got bullied all my life, I didn't get the job I wanted, I can't take this, you know that's understandable. You're gonna go to exile if you're that deeply into and spiritually in tune with yourself. Yeah, you'll go to exile. You'll go where you need to go to build a hut, whatever you need to do, and you'll stay out there. You'll stay out there for however long it takes. That's level 5 Mgtow. That's what Mgtow monks do. Okay, that's what Mgtow monks do in China right now, just like the Shaolin Temple. Okay, but it's Mgtow is strong. It's getting stronger within America. It's no one wants to be a part of this Me Too movement that I keep hearing so much about. I don't even know what's it really about, but this Me Too movement about feminists and women has really challenged. It's like, I guess it's challenged a lot of you could say concepts that were natural to what we thought was okay, I guess. And through the court system, they got what they wanted, from what I'm understanding. Okay, it's our time to do that. Our time to do the exact same thing. Okay, all we want is equality. You know, in the court system, that's what a lot of MGTOWs want. You have other MGTOWs that want different things. I'm not. That's true. You do have other MGTOWs that want different things. It's like two sides. I keep going back to it. You know, but isolation is a key to life. It's a huge part of life. You know, huge part. You've been on social media. You've been taking in every different concept. Every concept out there, that every new wave of entertainment or something that comes differently. Yeah, you need to leave. You need to leave society. Some people are gonna be like, yeah, go on vacation, like I said before, but who no. It's deep, it's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. A lot of the righteous men's morals and principles have been challenged, and because of certain reasons, you know, it slowly causes shame. It slowly causes shame. Men leave. I mean, I want to. I think that's a pilgrimage and a passage of a true man. And someday I want to do that. I want to, 5, 6 months at a time. I go out into the wilderness and live off of the grid. And with somebody who's been out there. Yeah, I definitely want to try that out. But there's some guys that live out there. They said, "Fuck this shit," man. I don't. They might say they know or they think, but are they? Will they do it? Are they doing it? Will they go out and live in a cave in the woods off the grid somewhere after day after day after winter, day after summer, or build up a hut or whatever, or build up a wooden house and actually make a masterpiece out of it? Really, make a masterpiece out of it. It's not no junk. They did a good job in the middle of nowhere. Just they ain't got no cable, they ain't got nothing. You know, isolation is powerful. People can't mess with your vibrations. You need to recollect yourself mentally, spiritually. Sometimes it's not going to take more than two. It's going to take more than 2 weeks. You're going to need longer than 2 weeks. That's why taking on a basic concept, right? When your friends keep pissing you off and life keeps pissing you off, what do? You cut people off, right? That's a basic concept. You cut people off for however long it takes for you to recuperate, right? And be right back with your friends, right back where you started, right? It's the same. Mgtow is the same thing, but on a deeper scale because the responsibility of the man was more than he could bear. That's why Mgtow level 5 is I feel like certain men must go through that. A lot of men must go through that. They put themselves through that, and it's a sense of redemption. It's a sense of redemption is because you know you tried to do something right and you did something wrong, and you understand there's a higher being with a higher power that's watching you, and you want to have the pain go away and the forgiveness of what you and how you felt before. So you put yourself through harsh conditions in a sense, but also it's not harsh on the mind, it's harsh physically. It's a refresher to the mind so you could feel eternally well-being. You could feel well again. That's what Mgtow level 5s do. That's what they stand by. You have some Mgtow. I would consider you a level 5 if you half the year you're in society, and then half of the year you're a ghost. Like I would consider that, yeah, oh yeah. But I also consider true. Mgtow is a guy who's out there. Like and he's like Rambo. There ain't no coming back. I could respect a man like that. That's a true man. That's a true warrior. You know, Also, too, when you come back to your friends right after after you were hanging around them too much, so you had to cut them off, or they were talking behind your back, or they were saying something, or somebody did something that you didn't want them to do, but it took you a while and you came back or whatever. Even though you should cut them off, but say you come back, right? You could see better than you did before the bullshittery in their actions towards you. You get what I'm saying? Because you wasn't around it, and now you're around it, and it's like this ain't normal because that's not no. Then eventually you'll have the strength and courage to just, fuck them, I'm not coming back. I ain't leaving. It's the same thing with a woman who gets treated badly by a man. It's the same thing. That's all it is. So that's why Mgtow is the proper way for reestablishing manhood. You know, is really I think is the proper way. You know, and I had a bunch of things written down, but I got so kind of lost in the sauce that I didn't even really look at some of the things I wrote down. And these are very good points. You know. Hold on. Sorry for that. Yeah. So briefly, I had to pause and I had to look at some of my notes just to I should have I did already, but I did again. So just to get on some other points too. Um, when you're in solitude, when you're in solitude, on a spiritual deeper note that all men have, whether you believe in it or not, God will come to you in different ways. God will put tests and show you different outlooks. Now, some people are going to say, oh, he could do that all the time to you, right? But it's harder for you to hear him when you're around what we have created as a sin in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Materialism and all this stuff, how we live is not how we're supposed to be living. Okay? So when you're out in nature, when you're out there, when you can hear the stillness, and when you're still within your soul, when you hear what God says, only you know what God says. I don't know. When you hear whatever he says to you, that is when you're ready to like come back to life, you're ready, I believe, to come back to society. You know, whatever that whatever that recharge you needed as a man, because there's more to a man than just the physical and what we have and what we could give. That's just one that's just one side of it, baby. It's a whole spiritual side. I think Mgtow really understands that, I'm for that, and I'm also for Mgtow being very political voice for men, and it just keeps going stronger. And I know this video is kind of off balance, and I apologize, and please forgive me. I'm new to this, and with these final encouraging words, my fellow brother Mgtow brothers, stay righteous, you know, stay positive, stay pure, and I'll catch you on the flip side.